Hey, this is Nika. This is your workout video to accompany the workshop of an upside to a stronger backside. It's also a great video just on its own, but it's going to be great for anybody looking to get more connected to their glutes and their stability from the hips, which is good for anything with balance, sports performance, and anybody who's looking to tone, tighten, lift, and shape the glutes as well. Let's get ready and do it. What's up, it's Nika. Let's get going with this upside to a better backside workout. You're gonna start on your back, okay? We're gonna have your tailbone down, feet flat, and you're gonna roll yourself all the way down to the mat. So the first thing I want you to do is, glute work is pointless if you can't actually engage your glutes to an extent, right? So heels are under the knees, tilt your tailbone away from you, and take your hands on the back of your legs where your butt and your hamstring connect. Anchor your tailbone and see if you can tighten the glutes and pull your glutes towards your heels and your heels towards your glutes without actually moving the bones of the body. So we're just trying to get a contraction in the back of the legs. That's the beginning of our engagement. Once you've found that, arms can go down by your sides, and you're gonna inhale. When you exhale, tuck the pelvis, slowly roll yourself up. We're doing an articulated bridge. Inhale at the top, exhale, roll down. So now you really have to get that tuck and that squeeze to control all the way. Inhale, exhale, slowly roll up. Remember, at the top, you want this feeling of pushing the knees slightly forward and away from you and squeezing the base of the glutes. That extra squeeze at the top is everything, right? It's always about how much activation can you get in the muscle while you're doing that work. Up and then back down. Two more, roll up and down, and one more, roll up and then back down. Now we're going into single leg, left leg up to the ceiling. We're just gonna do about 8 of these, but when you're doing these on your own, you can do more repetitions. I just want you to be able to see what all of these look like. Push into your right foot as you squeeze and lift, and then back down. 6, and exhale, 5, and exhale, 4, 3 more, 3, 2 more, and 1 more. Lift and lower. Switch legs. Right leg up, press into that left foot, roll up for 8. One side's always gonna be stronger than the other, and that's why this unilateral work, this single-sided work, is so important too. It helps you balance it out. Now keep in mind, even on the single leg, I want to squeeze the base of my butt when I get to the top. So I'm really finding that engagement. Last 2. And then 1 more. And then back down. We're going to go into our side lying work. So you have a couple options here when you're doing this, right? You can, if this is new to you, you might start just with the side lying and using the ball behind your knee, which is what I'm going to show you, so we really target the hip. And then over time, you can add an ankle weight if you need to, and if you feel like you want a little bit more resistance, or even a band around your thighs. But for now, we're going to take this ball, hug it behind your knee. The reason I'm having you do this is because that way you're not kicking your leg and using momentum, and instead you're really using your glute med in the outside of this hip. So we're lengthening the pelvis. Inhale. When you exhale, lift the top knee up. Inhale, back down. Exhale, lift. Now remember, we're keeping our hip bones stacked and we're targeting the side of the hip, right? Muscles responsible for this range of motion, that external hip rotation. Just do 2 more. And last one. And then we go into hydrant. We're gonna float the leg up and then back down. Notice I have some space under my waist. We want that lengthening, we want the core engaged, and the activation to be here the whole time. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. 4 more, lift, and down, 3 more, up and down, 2 more. And on the next one, lift and hold. Now you're gonna internally rotate, externally rotate. 2, hips still stay stacked, 3, 4, 5, 6, you should feel that burning in the hip, 7, 1 more, and 8, and rest. Nice job. Go ahead and straighten that leg out, and then we're gonna switch sides. So we're gonna switch sides before we start going into some hip extension, and I like to give it this kind of chance to balance out, but also keep in mind that this second side is going to already be a little bit more difficult because it was stabilizing you on the first side. So you're gonna squeeze the ball, bend the knees, lengthen the pelvis. Hips are stacked, right? So we don't wanna be crunched here. We want that length, tailbone sticking back. Inhale, exhale, start with your clam, lift the top knee up. Inhale, back down. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Hips right on top of each other the entire time. Abs are pulling in, and we're only going within the range of motion we have. We're not trying to go too wide. We're trying to lift within what we have. 1 more. And then we go into hydrant. Lift the whole leg hip height. So keep this length of the pelvis, belly in, float up, control it down. Same thing, I only need you to go hip height, but I want this feeling like your butt is pushing away from you when you lift. So it's that stretch long as you lift up. Last 4, 3, exhale 2, and lift and hold. Now you're gonna go knee to knee and heel to heel. 2, 3, 4. You're gonna feel it roll forward a little. 5, that internal rotation. 6, 7, 1 more. 8, and rest. Nicely done. Go ahead and keep the ball just close to you. And we're gonna flip around onto hands and knees, right? So hands come under the shoulders, knees come under the hips. We're going into our hip extension. Now we're gonna end up using the ball in a second to actually help you with this movement. But hands under the shoulders, extend the leg, bend the knee, flex the foot, and we're gonna push up. Now where you can use the ball that'll help you in this is the same way we were kind of using it before. It's gonna help you, so you have to move from the glutes. So you flex the foot and lift, belly pushes up. We're gonna go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come down, switch legs. Take the ball behind the other knee, squeeze it, hands under the shoulders, pulse up for 10, 9, 8, everything pushes away from the ground, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and come back down. So we warmed up the hip extension, but now we're gonna take it a little bit deeper. We're gonna be on our stomach, and you can use the ball to make it more challenging later, but right now I want you to really just get the activation and the connection to your glutes in hip extension in a stable position. So going down onto your stomach, palms face down, your forehead can rest on your hands. First thing you're gonna do is tuck the pelvis, right? So we're tucking under. So you can see how the glutes have to squeeze and engage to tuck. Abs lift, glutes squeeze. Now, from the base of your glute, right, where the glute and the hamstring connect, is where you're gonna lift the leg, right? So I'm lifting and then coming back down. So this is one of the reasons you're gonna switch legs. We found that connection to begin with, so we know where we're working from. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now from here, you're gonna bring your heels together, toes apart, knees slightly out. So we're getting a little bit of our external hip rotators, but we're still getting glute max. Belly pulls up, squeeze the heels, and notice, when you squeeze the heels, you're gonna feel the glutes engage and get ready to move from the very beginning. And we want that prep movement. Lift the belly, press your pubic bone down, abs in.
Inhale, exhale, squeeze the heels, lift the knees up. Control it down. Pubic bone down, belly up. Squeeze, lift for 2. And lower. 3. Exhale, 4. 5. It doesn't have to be big. 6. As a matter of fact, if it's too big, there's a good chance you're going into your low back. 2 more. 1 more, lift and hold. Now extend the legs and then lower down. Bend the knees, tuck the pelvis, lift, extend, squeeze the whole way out and down. Heels together, lift, squeeze as you extend and lower. Let's do 4 more. Lift, extend, squeeze, 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 squeeze. Down. 3, lift, extend, wrap the thighs around, and down. 2 more. Lift, extend, and down. 1 more. Lift, extend, and lower.
Nice job. Go ahead and sit back on your heels. Now, the nice thing about that
is that you really start feeling your glutes, and that's part of the battle.
is really getting that connection and feeling it activate from the beginning. So now we're going to slowly make our way up into a little bit more of our compound movements since we got everything active. So go ahead and bring your left leg in front of you and use this to get you ready for lunging. Tuck your toes under, pull the belly up, and slowly lift yourself up, standing the legs together. We're gonna go into our backward stepping lunges, right? So we're gonna take our right leg back, come down, just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want you to feel the base of your glutes being what lifts you. Left leg goes back, right foot forward. Down and up for 5. Squeeze the base of the glutes to lift you. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step it forward. Now to get a little bit more into the glutes, we want some lateral range of motion too, right? We're getting this from every angle in these compound movements. So what I'm gonna have you do is loosen it up first. You're gonna step your right leg out, send the hips back, right? So when I do this, I'm not rounding forward, I'm keeping my chest up. I'm sitting into my hips, sitting my butt back, and shifting my weight over. I want you to do a few translations staying low, so you can just get that feeling of what it's like to keep the weight a little bit more in your heels and push off the whole foot to activate into the glutes. Exhale, push up. Squeeze the glutes as you're going across. Because we're gonna use this into a little bit more of a dynamic movement in a second, but you can also feel that it's loosening up through the inner thighs. Last 3, last 2, and then 1 more. All right, so now we build on that. So if I'm over this way, I'm gonna shift my weight and balance. So I'm here, my weight's in my hip, but I'm gonna shift over and balance, right? So I'm gonna land and then shift. 2, shift. 3, shift. That balance into the hip, keep going, is where a lot of that glute work is, and that lateral hip stability, especially for balance work. 1 more. And down, hold. Now shift yourself over. We're gonna go the other way. It might take a couple to get used to it on the other side. Shift, and then back down. Exhale up, and lower. 3, and exhale 4, and exhale 5, shift 6, 7, 1 more, 8, and back down, come back up, nicely done. We're gonna shift into a variation with our lunges. So, as you get yourself situated, we're gonna get back into that lunge position. One leg is forward, the other leg is back. Now what I'd like you to do is tuck the tail under, come low for a second, and actually, as a matter of fact, bring your knee all the way down. You're gonna press into the glutes to lift you, and I want you to just hover. So you're gonna inhale, exhale, squeeze the glutes, lift up and hover and hold. Do little pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now you're feeling it. 1, come down. Other side. Other leg comes forward. Tuck the toes, chest up. Squeeze the glutes to get you into that hover. Inhale, exhale, lift up and hover. And then you're gonna press for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, there we go, 4, 3, 2, squeeze 1, come back down, nice job. Come onto your hands and knees, weight back. So, I want this stability in this exercise to prep you for the next thing. So this idea is this hip hinge pattern. Pushing away from the ground, inhale, exhale, hinge back. Inhale here, exhale, let the glutes feel like they're spreading, squeeze and come forward. Inhale, exhale, hinge back. Inhale and exhale, forward. 5 more. So I'm not just rocking into my hands, I'm going back, I'm pausing, I'm tightening the glutes, letting them tighten and spread to drive me forward. 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more, and come back up. That same idea, shift back, hands on your chest, inhale, exhale, come up, right? So this idea of hinging back in the hips and then coming up is really important for a lot of our movement patterns in our squats and to activate the glutes. 3 more, really get that tuck under. 2 more. 1 more, exhale, squeeze and come back up. From here, you're gonna come up to a standing position. So also use your lunges, use this active movement to help you come up and find that stability so you get a little bit more comfortable with it. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna build up this combo position. So what I'd like you to do is kickstand your right foot. Right toes by your left heel, lift the heel up. I want you to hip hinge again, just like you did on the mat. Hinge up. We're just gonna do 4 of these. So you see what it feels like standing. Can you activate the base of the glutes and press forward? Exhale up. 1 more. Now we're gonna use that to come up into some balance work. So we're gonna kickstand that leg, hinge back, let the right foot start floating up and drive behind you. You can release the right arm down as you lift the right leg up, look down towards the mat, bring it back to kickstand. Hands can come across the chest or at your hips. Hinge forward first. I wanna break it down into that hip hinge. Slide the leg back if you need to, lift it up, reach for the ground, and then come back up. Hinge up, hinge back, drive it back, lift it up, and then bring it back. So now if we want to make it a little more dynamic, lift the leg and tabletop, hands on your hips. You can feel that hinge, right? Knees cross, leg extends, and then go down, bring it back. And then again, press, extend, reach, and come up. It's okay if you lose your balance. This is all part of finding that connection. Also, if you're on a hard surface, it's a little bit easier to find. Go ahead and switch legs and we'll build as we go along. Left foot kickstands up to the right. Shoulders square, hip hinge first. I'm having you do this here because it's gonna feel different on this side. Hinge back, squeeze the glutes and come up. Hinge, and then come up. As you come up, engage the core, pull the belly in, hinge, and then come up. 1 more. Hinge, and then come up. Now you're gonna hinge, extend the left leg. Now for some of you, keep in mind, this might be enough. Just finding this is a lot of work. Then lift the left leg up, reach the left arm down, and then come back up, hips forward. Hinge back, left leg can go back, reach for the ground, lift the left leg up, bring it down, hips forward. One more, hinge, extend, lift as you reach for the ground, bring it down, hips forward. Now if you want to make it more dynamic, stabilize that right foot, lift the left leg, and then go back. Now you'll see, for me, this is my weaker leg. We all are gonna have one no matter what, so it takes a little bit more focus to come all the way either down or up. One direction may be trickier, and finding that balance. That's fine, that's how you build it. Especially if you've had any injuries on one side, that's gonna be the one that's more challenging. It's also the glute that might be a little bit weaker, that might need the extra work. Last one, and then come up. Nice job. So from here, just let your legs shake out a bit. We're gonna switch it up. We're gonna go back into our single leg stance, but instead of hinging forward, we're gonna try to stay a little more upright into like a single leg squat position. So we're gonna switch back to our left leg. Now you're gonna kickstand your right foot again. Just get this balance and this feeling, pull the belly in, lift the right leg up. Hands can go on your hips. Now, you still know what it feels like to hip hinge from that last exercise. You have that, but now you have that same feeling as you go down. It doesn't have to be far. And then come up. Inhale, go down, and then exhale, come up. 4 more, inhale back, exhale, lift. You'll start feeling your foot and your calf and your glute push up. 3 more. Now remember at the top, I want that feeling of the glutes pressing forward. 2 more, inhale back, exhale up. 1 more, inhale, and exhale, switch legs. The stronger you get and the more time you spend doing this, the lower you're gonna go. If you have any injuries, you play with that range of motion. I'm staying in a little bit lighter range of motion to make sure that I'm in the right place for where my body is today, and that's what I would expect the same of for you. Lift your left leg up. Bend that right knee, sit back, and then press up. Now, if you notice when you're going to sit down that your knee is getting really wobbly, pay attention to which direction it's going. If it's rolling in, there's a good chance you need more stability on this side. Maybe take your hand on your hip and activate into that outer hip and see what that feels like. 2 more, and then 1 more, and then come up. So now we're gonna put it together and see what that feels like. Feet parallel, back on my left foot. I'm gonna go forward. I'm only gonna do 1 on each side to give you an idea here. Go forward, lift up, coming up through center. Hands can go on my hips if I want, right leg tabletop. Inhale, sit down. Exhale, come up. And then go again, reach. Lift the right leg up, keep the toes pointing forward as much as you can. Come back through center. Inhale down, exhale, push up, and then other leg. On your right foot, left leg lifts. You're gonna hinge forward. Pay attention to where your eyes go, that makes a difference. Reach, look down, slowly push through your foot, come up through center, and then come up. 1 more, hinge. Lengthen, reach, find that push up through that right hip, come up through center, leg and tabletop, and then come back down. Nice job. So from here, I want you to take your feet parallel, and you're gonna take a second, and we're just gonna do some calf raises. So we're gonna press into our toes, and I want you to feel what it's like to engage your glutes, even in something with calf raises, because that whole range of motion matters. So you're gonna press into your toes, you're gonna inhale, exhale, squeeze the glutes to help you engage to lift up. And then inhale back down nice and slow. Exhale up, press off, squeeze the glutes, inhale back down. 4 more, lift, pushing up, and inhale down. 3 more, exhale, all the way up, and down. Last 2, exhale up, and down, and then 1 more, exhale, lift, and then back down. So I want to give you 1 more exercise for your lateral hip stability. What you're going to do is take your band. Now, if you have just a regular stretch band like this, that's fine. If you have one that's already like pre-looped ones, even better. But if you just have one, it's great because it's multi-purpose. So you can take that band, tie it around your thighs, make a knot. Okay, I'm gonna double knot it just so it doesn't fly off on me. Okay, we want that pretty stable. Now I'm gonna keep my range of motion small, but for you, if you have more space at home, think maybe like 10 steps to one direction, 10 to the other. Hips go back, so again, this squat position. So now, we really have that compound movement because we're in our hips, outer hips and everything. You're gonna inhale, step over, and then come over. Keep tension on the band as you're going each direction, right? I'm not bringing my legs all the way together, I lose tension there. I'm staying low, pulling my belly up, and I'm pushing out into the band so I'm active through the outer hips, right? We're going out to the side, out to the side. We find that step, and also that leg that's coming along, we're picking it up. We're not dragging it across. Each leg is getting picked up with that outer hip starting the movement in that stability. Last couple here. And you start feeling what that's like because you have to stay in that squat. One more, and then come back up. Nice job. You can just let that band go. So you can use that band for a lot of things, but that's a great way to get started. One last thing I'd like you to think about is something as simple as a wall squat, right? So if I were to come up against the wall, shoulders are back, knees are bent. Okay, so most people don't think about what their glutes are doing in here, and it's all quads. Stick your tailbone back a bit and pull the belly up. Tighten the glutes. See what that feels like as you press back. Can you feel the glutes engage? You might have to go a little bit lower, and then you really feel that activation. This is a good way to prep these movements. You feel your quads, but also your glutes, so that when you're doing squats, you're gonna feel what it's like to have to be in the bottom of this range and have the glutes active. You're gonna hold it for about 10 more seconds. Push into your feet, tighten the glutes, pull the belly up. Last 3, last 2, and 1. Slowly bring yourself all the way up. We're gonna make our way to the ground, and you can do a roll down so you can get a hamstring stretch. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive up and over. Walk yourself out, and then lower the knees. Now what I wanna do here is I wanna give you a nice deep hip capsule stretch, right? So you're working the glutes, but you also wanna have range of motion available to you. So especially at the end of doing all this work, you wanna go into a really nice deep stretch. So we're gonna go into our figure 4 stretch. You can do that on your back, but I'm gonna show the deeper way because you can get into all of that musculature that's nice and tight. You're gonna bring your left knee forward, right leg goes back, chest is up, push back into that hip, square off and open up. Square the shoulders, and then slowly walk your way down. Now you can stay propped up on your forearm or go all the way down, but the one thing that can be nice about staying on your forearms is you have some wiggle room to kind of pull your hip back and away and open it up a little bit more. I like going all the way down. It gives me a place to rest into it. It just depends on the day, right? It's nice to be here and open the chest and pull back into that hip. And then you get that release starting to happen. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly come up. And then we'll switch sides. Bring your right leg forward. Left leg back. Square the shoulders. Pull into that right hip. Walk yourself forward. Open the chest. Slowly go down to your forearms. Pull back into that hip, shoulders back. If you want to go all the way down, go all the way down. Otherwise, just try to sit into that hip. Maybe sit back a little bit more, see what that feels like. Lengthen up. Take another inhale. When you exhale, slowly bring yourself back up. Bring the knee out from under you. Sit back on your heels. Relax the shoulders, relax the neck. Take an inhale. Exhale, slowly come up. Your last thing here, in an open position, press the tops of your feet down. If you have any knee injuries, you can totally skip this. But I want you to feel that activation one last time. with the muscles of the glute max. So you're gonna inhale, hinge back, keeping your body in one line from your head towards your knees, and then exhale, squeeze your glutes, pull the belly in to come up. Inhale, hinge back. Exhale, squeeze the glutes to come up. I'm not breaking at the hips and coming back up, right? It's not my hip hinge pattern. Inhale back, exhale, come up. I am pulling my abs in, keeping my spine stable, almost like I'm in a plank to support me. Last 3. Last 2. And 1 more. Inhale and exhale, come up. Nice job. That was your glute workout to go with the workshop about strengthening your glutes, whether it's aesthetic or functional for sports. Hope you had a great workout. Looking forward to showing you part 2.